All right, boys and girls, we are going to be reading chapter 2 of Santa Claus Doesn't Mop Floors. So yesterday, well actually it would have been on Friday, I read you chapter 1. Now we're going to read chapter 2. All right, boys and girls, this is what a chapter book looks like. It's just a bunch of words. So it does have, occasionally it'll have pictures in there, but the pictures are black and white. All right, so I'm going to start reading. Chapter 2, Mr. Jolly. I wonder when Principal Davis is going to hire a new janitor, Liza asked as she pushed blonde hair out of her eyes. Eddie slapped the mop around on the hall floor. It's been a whole week since Mr. Dobson quit. I'm sick of emptying the trash and mopping the floors every recess. We wouldn't be doing it all if you hadn't come up with that peanut butter idea, Howie snapped. It was only peanut butter, Eddie sputtered. Melody tugged on her black braid. It really wasn't a nice thing to do, and now poor Mr. Dobson is without a job during Christmas. It was his choice, Eddie said. Eddie's face was turning red as his hair. He didn't have to quit. Besides, who cares about Christmas anyway? Liza, Howie, and Melody looked at each other. Ever since Eddie's mother had died, his father refused to celebrate Christmas. Everybody likes Christmas, Liza said softly. Not me, Eddie announced. Christmas is for sissies. Sissies, boomed aloud, a deep voice behind them. All four kids turned to see Principal Davis and a very fat man standing in the hall. I'd like to introduce Mr. Jolly, Principal Davis said. He's our new janitor. Mr. Jolly smiled at them. His blue eyes twinkled under his bushy white eyebrows, and a smile could barely be seen from under his thick white beard and mustache. A thin curl of smoke circled above the pipe he puffed on. He could have passed for somebody's grandfather if it hadn't been for his clothes. Most grandfathers don't wear hot pink t-shirts with green and pink slacks. He even had on bright green tennis shoes to match. Melody broke the silence. We sure are glad to meet you. I bet you are, Mr. Jolly chuckled as he took the mop from Eddie. Now you kids can go out to recess and I'll clean up this mess, he said as he pulled his beard. And with that, he began mopping the floor. The keys hanging from his green belt jingled as he worked. The floor seemed to sparkle wherever he mopped. Boy, he sure works fast, Liza commented. Who cares? Eddie said. Let's get outside. Once they were on the playground, the four ex-janitors gathered under the oak tree. Their breaths looked like Mr. Jolly's pipe smoke as they talked. Mr. Jolly sure seems nice, Liza said, but he's awfully fat, Howie pointed out. Melody rolled her eyes. Big deal, so he's fat. I'm just glad we don't have to mop the floor anymore. Howie wanted to be a doctor, and he was always talking about health. Being fat is bad for you. So's this ice breath, Eddie said with a laugh, and then he smacked Howie right in the face with a snowball. After that, it was an all-out war. The four kids were so busy throwing snowballs they didn't see that Mr. Jolly was watching them from the window, and that he was writing things down in a little red notebook.